Hey guys, how's it going? It's Peter Day here. Welcome back to our channel on YouTube. I'm just here at my house doing a little recording. I got my dog Louie with me. I was about to walk him, but then I had a really good thing that I wanted to make a video about. And what's been funny about me, hold on, dog's kind of pulling me away here. What's been funny about me is I just haven't made these videos that often, but when I have, it's been because I have something really good on my mind. So this channel has been very kind of impromptu. It's kind of funny. I feel like when we first made the channel, we were trying to maybe sell stuff, like sell some courses and stuff. But lately, the channel has just been pure value and really just pure sharing. So I had something on my mind when it comes to team building, the benefits of building a team, because I was just thinking of just some things that we've been working on in our business today. And it's just so important to have a strong team, really, no matter what the size of that team is, like whether it's actually a really small team or a massive team. And I wanted to talk about some of the benefits of having a team. I mean, one of the biggest benefits, I might have to get out of this buggy situation though. Some benefits of having a team is that a team is going to point you in directions that you perhaps were not actually thinking of. And I mean, I think that's one of the biggest values of a team, is the fact that your team can bring things to your attention that you were not thinking of personally. I mean, literally, one of the strongest verticals that we're starting to scale now is a vertical that wasn't on my radar screen at all. I mean, just one of my team members said, "Hey, Peter, I just remember that like a couple of years ago, I knew someone who was doing really well in this vertical. Why don't we give it a try?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I kind of tried that vertical before. It didn't work that well." I kind of had a bunch of excuses, honestly. And then we tested this vertical lately, and it's been really starting to take off. We've been filling the caps kind of no problem on it, and it's a good problem to have, but we're kind of running around trying to get more cap on this vertical right now. This has usually been the problem for us. Usually when we've nailed a vertical, we've usually just scaled so hard that we've just filled everyone's cap, and then it's become kind of a cap issue, and we have to work with like hundreds of buyers at the same time to get the cap, like whatever it's been, like whether it's insurance or like home services, legal, literally whatever the vertical has been. We've generally just figured out how to nail it on whatever, Facebook, Google, YouTube, TikTok, these channels. And then, the buyers have just never been able to really keep up. It's like, even if one buyer is able to do 1,000 leads a day, then we've had to find another buyer to do another 1,000 leads a day, and another buyer to do, another 500 leads a day. And it's just kind of really a game of like piecing together the buyers and stuff like that. So what I wanted to share is this. What I realize is that a team is a lot more than just helping you do things. I mean, if you're an individual affiliate, or you're an advertiser, or whatever your responsibility is in the industry, it's like a team is much more than just having people help you to do things. One of the biggest values that I've had from my team, like I said, is just bringing stuff to the table. It's not only this incident, but I think it was something recently as well in a different vertical where, even my brother, I know my brother is my business partner, but I mean, in a sense, that's a team, right? Like business partners are teams of two. And it's like, even my brother just brought something really big to the table lately. He went to a conference in Canada, and he sat down with a lot of high-level affiliates, and they were working on particular verticals or particular projects. And my brother came home. He said, "Dude, like, these guys are crushing it on this stuff, and we're just not doing any of this. Like, why don't we explore this?" So it's like having a team, in my opinion, is just it's just so vital. And I want to share a little bit about how we built our team, because our team didn't start, with like 20 to 30 people initially. I mean, when my brother and I got started, it was literally my brother and I. And then we hired a media buyer. And then one of the first biggest like full-time hires that we got was an accounting person, because we realized that if we're going to actually do this business, properly and sign up a lot of direct clients, we need strong accounting. I mean, I personally can't be sitting around trying to send invoices to everybody and keep track of those payments. So one of our first major hires was an accounting person, and we still have that accounting person working with us today. So that's another piece of advice too, is just hire people that are really good and hire people that are going to be long-term in your business. You don't want to be hiring for a position, whether it be a salesperson or a media buyer or accountant. You don't want to hire for a position and just have them leave a year or two later, or just be jumping ship. I mean, I've seen this so much in the industry where it's like, you guys can probably relate. Like, how many times have you seen the same affiliate manager and they're working with this company and then suddenly they're working with this company and then this company, and it's like, oh, they just switched again to this company. It's like, dude, like what's going on here? Like, is this like, why is this person just like switching, companies just like 9 times in 3 years? Like, there's some kind of red flag. And it's the question is it the person's fault, or are these companies just like really dumb for kind of like hiring this person that they don't need, like, over and over again? But I've seen it so many times, and it's just so important. In my opinion, it's much better to get somebody who's just going to be really good and long-term than it is to get someone who's just going to be quitting on you. I think that's obvious, but what I have to say about my business is that our retention is really strong too. We just have a really good culture in the business. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of, it's all performance driven, but we also have a lot of freedom. Like, if I notice that somebody is just kind of being a little bit lazy, or just like taking some time off, or not working as hard as they probably could, I mean, whatever. Like, we're not going to rip on them for doing that, especially if it's just like short term. So what's funny about our business is we actually we don't have any formal, like, none of our employees or none of our teammates even get any vacation time, but it's so relaxed that if somebody asks, they can just take the vacation. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that kind of environment. And a lot of our team, even though there's not formalities like, okay, we're going to take our 2 weeks off, we're going to take our 1 week off, that kind of thing. Even though there's not formalities like that, a lot of our team members also take working types of vacations. I mean, I know, like, there's someone on our team who has had to deal with some family issues lately with their parents, and like, there's the freedom in our company to be taking that time off and to be kind of working, but then doing stuff in between, and it's a great environment. So my recommendations here for building a team is be looking at people who are going to be long term. We're very particular on who we hire to be a media buyer in our company, because we don't want to hire a media buyer and have them just leave in like 12 months or in a year. Like, literally, when we're hiring a media buyer, what's running through my head is, what is the likelihood of this person actually being with our company, 8 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And if I can't sit down and confidently say that I really believe this person could be with us in 10 years from now, I'm not going to hire them, because it could be a waste of time and energy. And think about it too. I mean, imagine if you hire a media buyer employee to run your ads. They run your ads for like 3 years and then they take off. It's like, okay, they could also be taking off with a lot of like trade secrets. They could be taking off with just like intelligence of different verticals. They could be taking off with things that could be sensitive and competing with your business too. So you want to be thinking to yourself, okay, if you're going to hire anybody, they better be there for a really long time. Because if they're not going to be there for a long time, it might not be worth it. Especially if you're a smaller size company. I mean, like, our company does big numbers, but we're really only about 20 to 35 people total. And when I say 20 to 35 is because a lot of our media buyer employees, they have teams within themselves. So like, a media buyer in our company will have like a video person working under them, copywriter, like image creative person, right? There's a lot of our media buyers even have VAs that handle like Facebook accounts, warming them up, right? So even though our core team's about 20, when you add up all the VAs and everything that's actually going on, it's probably more of a team like 30. But at the end of the day, it's still a relatively small team. Like, we don't have time to hire someone just to have them, quit on us like a year later or 2 years later. So it's really important to hire for the long term. And if you're interviewing someone, let's say for your company or some position, if you can't confidently say, yeah, this person's a winner, and I really believe they're going to be here 10 years from now, 8 years from now. If you can't confidently say that, I would just move on and look for a different person to hire, because I'm telling you, in our industry, there's a lot of these people that are jumping ship, especially like business development type of people. I mean, of course, I'm not going to name names, but I know some people where it's like, oh my goodness, it's like they literally worked for one company 1 year, and then like 8 months later, they're just like working for some other company, and then just like 4 months later, they're working for some other company. And it's like, these are the type of people that you probably don't want to hire, because there's just some kind of narrative behind it. Like, why are they working for these companies for just like 9 months, and then they're either quitting or they're getting fired? It's because they probably stink. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, they're probably just a bust. They probably convince these companies, oh, hire me. I'm going to bring you all these great clients, these great direct deals. They work for the company for 9 months. The company realizes it's kind of a bust, and they're just trying to get rid of them. And it's this cycle happening over and over again. So I recommend, if you're trying to hire salespeople, let's just say, for example, like, stay away from these type of jumpy salespeople in our industry. They're all over the place. And what these people need to do is they need to really settle down with a company that's going to get them success. And they need to just really walk the walk. It's like, not just talk the talk. I mean, they're obviously probably getting the job by talking a big talk, and then they're not walking it out, and they're just getting laid off year after year. But the team thing is just so important. I couldn't do it without a team, really. If I didn't have a team, it's like the team is everything, and you're only going to be as good as your team is. It's like, if you want to say to yourself, how are you going to build the best business possible? I mean, to build the best business possible, you're going to have to start by first, or as one of your first steps, thinking about how you're going to build the biggest, not the biggest team, but the best team. I almost said like exactly what I didn't want to say. It's not about the biggest team, actually. It's about having the best team. I would rather have a team of 9 people that were the best than a team of 20 people that were just mediocre, that were just wasting the money, that were just on salary, wasting money. And I think that's why there's been a lot of companies failing, not only in our space, but just in the wider, just like the wider scope of things. Is that it's just, some companies are so stupid. They get a lot of investor money. They raise, 200 million. What do they do when they raise that 200 million? They just go out and they hire like 600 employees. Do you think they're actually being like thoughtful about those hires? Do you think they're actually sitting down with every single one of those hires, saying to themselves, okay, is this the best person that we can possibly get? Do we really need this person? Is this person going to be with our company in 10 years from now? Are they a true rock star? And you know what I believe? I believe if a lot of companies just actually used their own money, they just wouldn't be so dumb about it. Like, I mean, seriously, what's very different about my brother and I is we've really built our company from the ground up. We've been doing this for about 10 or 11 years. We've never received one single outside investment from like an investor. We've never given away a piece of our business. We've never done any investing rounds. We've literally started with $1,000. We ran some ads. We turned that $1,000 into $10,000. We turned the 10,000 into millions. And literally, we operate our business has been operated from our own money. So when I sit down and hire an employee, this is not, it's not just some question of like, oh, investor money, who cares if it's literally, if I hire an employee for like, let's say $100,000 a year, and then that employee is a bust, that wasted $100,000 of basically Tyler and I's money, because this business we've built has been bootstrapped from the ground up with our own money. And I think if more business owners think this way, like, this is, even if you're a business that's actually received outside funding, you got to think of this as being your money. Like, don't just think of it as like, okay, these investors, they just forked up $100 million, and now you can just like hire, 900 employees, and it doesn't really matter how good these employees are, but you're just hoping that the 900 employees just take you to like the next valuation. It's just like that's not the smartest thing to do. The smartest thing to do is just think about it, each and every hire individually, as if it's your own money. And a lot of times in our business, with smaller sized business that's in our industry, a lot of times it is your own money, you know? And I want to shed a little bit of light on how we actually got started. I almost got freaked out a second because the dog wasn't pulling on the leash. I was like, that dog better not have kind of slipped away. Louis being a trooper here. We're supposed to go on a walk. I ended up making this long video. We'll get on this walk in a second. But my last thought here is that you don't have to have the biggest team, but you should really strive to have the best team, okay? And that's what's really set our company apart, is maybe we don't have the biggest team, but we do have the best, literally the best media buyers, the best salespeople, the best accounting people, the best tech people, the best data analytical science people, the best creative people. It's like we really strive to not only be the best, but to have the best. Because how are you supposed to be the best if you don't have the best people as part of your team? So it's really important to have the best team possible instead of the biggest team possible. And what's also important is you don't have to go on a hiring spree like frantically. We've always taken the approach of hiring one person at a time, literally for the last 10 years. I mean, think about this. We've been doing this business for 10 years, and we only have a team of about 30 people. I mean, we don't have a team of 130 people. We have a team of 30 people. So what that means, if you do the math on that, if we've been doing this business for 10 years and our team is about 30 people, what that means is over the last 10 years, on average, we've hired about 3 people a year, okay? Which is about 1 hire a quarter, which has been kind of reminiscent of our business. So we've always taken the approach of hire one person at a time, and hire where you feel like it's needed the most for either growth or in terms of just necessity as well. But hire one person at a time. Like if you're a business, let's say you're an affiliate marketer and you're just like getting burnt out because you're trying to run ads for 12 hours a day, you need some help. Maybe what you need to do is maybe you just need to hire a virtual assistant. Like maybe you hiring a virtual assistant to help you launch some of your ads, maybe that's your first step. Maybe that's your first hire. And then let's say 6 months later, you start to land some direct clients and you realize, oh my goodness, this is kind of complicated with this direct thing because it's like they actually require you to invoice them every month. You have to be collecting all this money. You have to be nagging them for payments if they're not paying on time. And then you realize, okay, like maybe I actually have to get an accounting person, right? And it's like, that's how we've built our business. It's just one hire at a time. We've never gone out and said, okay, we're going to get 1 billion hires. We've never done that. Even, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we did a hiring round lately for media buyers. It was about 2 months ago. Remember, I released a video just, we were talking about how we were hiring for the media buying team. That video, believe it or not, got a serious amount of interest. We got over 80 applications for our media buying position, 80, which was kind of shocking. I think what happened was it got syndicated. I posted the video on YouTube, our Facebook group, and I think I just popped it on like our LinkedIn for Optimize. And to our surprise, we got 80 of these Wufoo applications. Out of those 80 applications, I think my brother actually interviewed on the phone about 20 to 25 candidates out of 80. And then literally out of those 20 candidates, we only hired one person. We just found this one person that we liked the most, that we felt like was the most ambitious, that was the most hungry, that was the most skilled when it came to creatives, landing pages, actually doing the media buying on different channels like Facebook, native ads, Google platforms. So that's how picky we've been about hiring. And what's funny is I kind of went into that hiring round hoping that we would get more. I'm like, you know what, Tyler, my brother Ty, I said, Ty, what if we get 4 media buyers off of this hiring round? Wouldn't that be so great? And then what I realized is I'm like, you know what? I don't really want 4 more media buyers right now. I just want one more rock star that's just going to kick butt, that's going to do over $100,000 a day, that's going to actually be with our company for the next like 10 years. And we picked someone who we believe is that person or that type of person. And, and now we are putting our faith in that person that, it's like out of these 80 people, we chose you and we're going to work hard to make this work out and everything. So we've always approached hiring just one person at a time, hire where you need it the most or hire where you feel like it could be contributing the most to your growth. But you got to realize a team is so important because a team is going to bring ideas that you personally won't have. I mean, I would say at this point, 70 to 80% of our recent breakthroughs have come through some team member coming up with some idea. Okay, whether it's a media buyer. I think it was about 6 or 12 months ago, one of our media buyers came up with this really good idea. They were just going to run ads like a very specific way on Facebook. And it was very like revolutionary. It was very different. And it was very creative. And then that media buyer shared that strategy on Facebook with the rest of the team. And it really has been crushing it. And then even someone else came up with this idea recently of a very specific way to run YouTube ads as well. And it's like, that's been super interesting. And what you're going to find as you build your team is that it's not, again, I said this in the beginning of the video, it's not about just people like helping you out and taking some work off your plate. Sure, that's part of it, but where you're going to get one of the biggest breakthroughs is these ideas. You're going to say, oh my goodness, I hired this guy like Bob, and I couldn't believe it, but Bob just came up with this like great idea. Like Bob said, we should be promoting, some kind of like homeowners insurance on Facebook. And like, oh my goodness, we tried out the homeowners thing. And like the homeowners is the next like 10 grand a day campaign. This would never have happened if Bob didn't even mention this. It's like, that's the kind of breakthrough you get from the team. It's just them coming to you with these ideas. And you're like, oh my goodness, now I understand, Steve Jobs. What did Steve Jobs says? Steve Jobs says that he said when he was alive that he always wanted to be, kind of the dumbest person in the room. Like he wanted to be surrounded by people that were always smarter than him. And that's how those ideas are going to start to flow. I mean, think about Ray Dalio with his company, what he's done, Bridgewater. How is Ray so successful? Is it really all about Ray? Ray is amazing. But at the same time, Ray is kind of just like a very charismatic salesperson. He's really just like a celebrity. What makes Ray's organization the way it is he has the best people. He has the best money managers. He has the best finance people. He has the best strategists. He has the best of the best of the best. And he knows that by hiring the best, his company is going to be the best. So when you're building a team, it doesn't matter if it's your first hire or your 15th hire, always be looking for the best and always be asking yourself this question. If I hire this person, do I believe this person's going to be with my company 10 years from now? Or are they just going to be flaky? Are they just going to kind of leave for the next shiny object? Are they just going to be poached when someone offers them 50 extra grand a year on the salary? Or are they going to stick with you? And that's what you have to ask yourself when hiring. And that's how you're going to build a really big, long lasting team, is when you're thinking to yourself, is this the best person that I can get? And then also, is this going to be a long lasting person? And if you have concerns like, oh my goodness, this person is just going to be poached, they're just going to leave, then what you need to think to yourself is, how can you make your opportunity the most competitive? Maybe you have to come in a little bit higher on that salary. Maybe if you're offering a commission, maybe your commission has to be a bit more lucrative than other folks. Maybe you have to sweeten that pie a little bit. Maybe you have to have whatever it is. Like, let's say you're hiring a salesperson. Maybe you need to sweeten the deal by helping the salesperson out once in a while. Like, instead of telling the salespeople to do it all, maybe you need to jump on the phone and close some deals for the salesperson and be like, look, I just landed you a client. There's a little freebie for you. It's like, and especially think about it. If a salesperson is on commission and you're jumping on a sales call once in a while, you're landing some clients and just passing them to your salesperson. I mean, do you know how happy that's going to make your salesperson? Let's say if they're on a commission, just feeding them some business once in a while. So it's things like that that can set you apart. So guys, I'm going to run. I hope this found just immense value in your site. I'll get out another video, but again, we've been funny about this. Is like we've only been releasing videos when we have something good to say, and I think it's been really resonating with the community. So do me a favor, if you're not already a subscriber, click the subscribe button. If you're a subscriber, as soon as we release one of these videos, it shows up right away. You get a notification, I even believe, and it shows up on your news feed right away, these videos. So subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share these videos too. Share these with your industry friends. Share this around. Implement these strategies in your business. And we're all here to build a big business, but sometimes you just need these practical tips, and it's free on this YouTube channel. So guys, enjoy, and we'll talk in a bit. Thanks.